Hello students. So this is part A, employability skills. From part A, this is the first unit, communication skills. So here I am going to explain you about communication skills and what are the perspectives in communication skills and what are the different factors we are going to do. I'm going to explain here. So now see here, communication skills. So what are communication skills first of all? So communication skills are those skills which are needed to speak and write properly. As a student, you may study any language, but it is important that you are able to read, write, speak and listen well in order to communicate properly. That means speaking more than one language can help you to communicate well with the people around the world. So learning English can help you to communicate with people who understand English besides the language you have been exposed to speaking the language from early childhood. For example, if you see your mother tongue, so if you have the thorough knowledge of your language with the communication skills, so very important for if you take any job or if you take any business, if you set up a business or if you are doing any occupation, the communication skills are very important. Now let us see what is communication and see introduction to communication. So the word communication comes from Latin word communicare. Here the word communicare means to share. So what to share? To share means it is information only, to share information. So in between sender and receiver, that means here the word communication means to share. So you can see that communication means sharing of information between two or more individuals or within a group or in between two members or within a group or to reach a common understanding. So why we have to study communication skills in your class means, so that means you should have the ability to communicate clearly and you should have the ability to share your thoughts, feelings, ideas. Will help you in all your relationships, not only in the job, in the wherever you are working, or in your personal relationships also it will help you. For example, you can inform about something or you can also influence others through communication. Now see here, communication skills are needed too. Why you need communication skills? First one is to inform, like to inform. It may be a information, it may be some other kind of data, anything to inform to others. And the second one is communication skills are needed to influence. Influence means through communication you can influence others also. And next one is express feelings. Express feelings means talking about your feelings is a healthy way to express them. For example, if you want to share you got a good marks in your math exam, you can share your excitement or you can share your feelings with your parents and friends. So these are the main things why we need communication skills: to inform, to influence and to express feelings. And what are the main elements of communication? So see, you can see here, communication is a two-way exchange of information, that is giving and receiving. That means giving and receiving. These are the two elements, main important elements in communication. Yes, so giving and receiving, that means here giving means who will give the information? The sender only. So sender means, if for example if you are the sender of information, this means communicating it clearly to state, to start with then asking question. You can start by asking question to check your listeners. You must also then listen to the replies and if necessary clarify further. That means sender means it not only gives the information, you have to respond accordingly. Next receiving. Receiving means, for example, if you are the receiver, then it means listening is very careful here, listening carefully to the information and checking that you have understood by reflecting back or asking question to ensure that you both are you both have the same understanding of the situation or not. That means here the giving and receiving, both sender and receiver plays very important role in communication. Next, perspectives in communication. So perspective means point of view. So in my point of view, in my ideas, my views or my thinking is different from others. So perspectives means here it may be ideas, views or fixed ways of thinking. These sometimes affect your communication because different people having different ideas, different views on, but if you take particular topic, so you have the different views on that particular topic and I may have different ideas and different views on that particular topic. So sometimes it affects our communication. Then how can we overcome that? Now see here, factors affecting perspectives in communication. What are the different factors affecting perspectives in communication? Yes, sometimes we are not able to communicate clearly because of barriers that stop us from sharing and understanding messages. How the factor can become a barrier? So here these are the different factors like language, feelings, past experience, personal factors. These are the different factors affecting perspectives in communications. For example, if you take language, so language can act as a barrier when an Indian who knows only Hindi and some other Gujarati, who has the knowledge of Chinese, so only want to interact with each other. That means that language is the barrier. That means if you want to communicate with a person who does not understand the Chinese at all, so but the other person can understand only the single language, but sometimes it may be difficult to understand, it may be difficult to sharing information between you. So sometimes language is become one factor. Now next one is feelings. Feelings means, so our feelings and emotions such as lack of interest or not trusting the other person affect communication. So the person who wants to talk with you but you don't have any interest to listen her or his emotions or feelings, so that time it affects the communication between the both of them. Now next one is past experience. Past experience means letting our earlier experience stop us from understanding or communicating clearly. For example, if you score low marks in maths exam, so what that person, that student feels that whenever the math teacher or whenever the question arises from the math side, he scared to say answer, he is scared to ask questions in the class. So here it affects the past experience. So here the past experience is the one factor to affect the perspectives in communication. Next, personal factors. Personal factors include your feelings, your own feelings like habits and way of thinking. Like for example, because of the fear or low confidence may make communication very difficult. So these are the different factors affecting perspectives in communication. Other than these factors like environment and culture and visual perception, these are different. Some more factors also there, like culture means, like in India we have different cultures, so different people are following different cultures, such as showing, for example, if a person showing a thumb means that is, it indicates, some may take it like a good sign, a good job, like this, and some people it may feel it is insulting to others. So that is, the culture is different. When the person's culture is different, it affects the communication. So next one is effective communication. Effective communication, when can effective communication happen? So effective communication can happen if we follow the basic principles of professional communication skills. So those are 7 C's. We can see here in the table 7 C's: clear, concise, concrete, correct, coherent, complete, courteous. So these are the different 7 C's. So we should follow for the effective communication. So here clear means when you're speaking, be clear, articulate and concise. That means less is more when it comes to speaking and speak plain English. So whatever is required, just say that one only. So no need to elaborate, no need to give brief. When it is required, you have to give, but when it is not required, you just be clear what you want to say. Concise means, so you are giving lot of information, but you are giving in a few words. That means use simple words and say only what is needed. So no need to give lengthy explanation, just in few words only we can give lots of information. Next, concrete, use exact words and phrases. That means concreteness means communication implies being particular and clear rather than fuzzy and general. That means it makes the use of words that are clear with less chances of misinterpretation. Like next one is correct. Use correct spellings, language and grammar. Coherent means smooth flow of ideas in a text. That means your words should make sense and should be related to the main topic. So you should whatever the words you are using, that should make sense, and you should relate to the main topic. Whatever the topic is you are talking in between the two members, that should relate to the main topic. Next, complete. Your message should have all the needed information. It should not be complete information. Courteous, so be respectful, friendly and honest. So these are the 7 C's you should follow for effective communication. There are different methods of communication which include non-verbal communication, verbal communication, visual communications. So different types of communications are there. So we will see one by one. First one is I am taking verbal communication. So verbal communication means, now first of all, communication means sharing of information, but in what way? So here we are saying verbal communication. Verbal means so sharing of information by using words. So it is what most people use a method of communication. Mostly we are using verbal communication only. So we will learn about non-verbal and visual communication next further. So verbal communication is important because if you do not use the right words, you will cause confusion and you will not be able to communicate what you want. I mean, the important forms of verbal communication, like these are the different important forms, like oral, spoken communication and written communication. These are the important forms of verbal communication. Like if you take oral or spoken communication, so here it includes, for example, face-to-face conversation when you can see the listener. There we can see the listener when you are communicating. For example, in a group discussion, or if you are talking with your family member at home, or when you are making conversation with the public through speeches. So that is oral communication or spoken communication. Or if you take talking on a phone, this is for personal and official communication. Phone conversation should be begin with a greeting. Generally when you are talking on a phone, generally we starts with like hello, and that is a formal conversation, talking and listening to each other. And the conversation can end with thank you or bye. And if you take the classroom, so if you take classroom, there we only the single person can if you take public speeches and business discussions, there only one person talks to many others at once. So these are like a face-to-face conversation, talking on phone, and if you take classroom, business discussions, all are oral or spoken communication. Examples for oral or spoken communication. And coming to the written communication, so here written communication means which involves written or typed words. That means writing letters, writing notes, writing emails. And if you take sending SMS, that means send through a phone or to a person or a group. And using emails to share your ideas, to share your thoughts, and we can send documents through email files. So these are the different examples for written communications, like writing letters, SMS and emails. Next one is advantages of verbal communication. So verbal communication is easy and quick. You can say what you want to get a quick response. So why verbal communication is easy and quick means, we know the communication is happened at the time only the presence of sender and that means receiver. That means there only the listener also is we can see directly what his response also we can see. We will get the quick response from the listener. So that is verbal communication is easy and quick. So when you have to exchange ideas, when you want to exchange your ideas, it is easy to use verbal communication. If you are using verbal communication, it will easy. So you keep changing your communication as per the other person's reply. In verbal communications, we can in the spot at the time of giving information only, we will get the response also from the listener. Next, disadvantages of verbal communications. What are the disadvantages? So the most common disadvantage of verbal communication is the cultural differences between the sender and receiver of the information. Maybe why these cultural differences are coming between the sender and receiver means these differences may be due to the use of different languages, first thing, and the person does not the inability to understand. And verbal communication means mostly verbal communication, it depends on words. Sometimes the meanings become confusing and difficult to understand if the right words are not used. So mainly if the person is not using proper words, the others cannot understand. So here the cultural differences between the sender and receiver is the disadvantage of verbal communication. Next one is public speaking. Public speaking means it is speaking in front of the large group makes most people nervous. That means public speaking is very difficult. But I can't. We can't say it is a difficult. But if you prepare, if you practice, if you perform, it will be easy for anyone. So 3 P's of public speaking. So here 3 P's means prepare, practice, perform. So to overcome your fear, to overcome and to become a confident, and to if you want to become an effective speaker, you should follow these 3 P's of public speaking: prepare, practice, perform. Prepare means first think about your topic. Whatever the topic you choose, just think about and prepare the notes for it, and think about from the listeners, from the audience side, what they are expecting. So from the audience side you have to think and you have to prepare accordingly. Practice. So if you are done, just practice by yourself first, and you just mostly just talk in front of the mirror. Just talk in front of a mirror and talk in front of your family members, in front of your friends. So and speak loudly, clearly, and at the right speed. Right speed means it's not very fast and not very slow. Next, perform. Take a few deep breaths if you are feeling nervous. Think about what you have prepared and start speaking confidently. These are the 3 P's of public speaking to overcome your fear, to become confident, and to become effective speaker. So you should follow these 3 P's of public speaking. And next one is non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication is the message we send to others without using any words. So verbal communication means there we are using words to communicate, but here non-verbal communication means without words. Now as we can see in this figure, we send signals and messages to others through expressions, through posture, through gestures, through touch, through space, through eye contact, like different communication. So you will learn about non-verbal method of communication and its type now. And see types of non-verbal communication. So types of non-verbal communication, first one is facial expressions. See here, facial expressions means here we are not using any words, but through facial expressions also we can communicate with others. Like smiling means it shows happiness, and if you are making sad face means that means you are upset. Okay, that means when you are using this type of expression, that means it is like you are crying. Like so through facial expressions also we can communicate. There we are not using any words. That means that is non-verbal communication. Like through hand movements and to body language. For example, raising hand and mean that it indicates hello. And if you point here, like if you point your finger in anger, that means you're upset, or if you're just you're sad, like you're angry, we can by body language, by gestures also we can communicate. Now if you take your eye contact, so eye contact, if you eye contact means maintaining eye contact with the person you are talking indicates interest. That means you're maintaining eye contact means you're just showing interest, whatever he is telling, whatever he is speaking, you're just showing interest. So eye contact is very important. And touch, so when you communicate a great deal through touch, such as shaking hands. Shaking hands means that means when you meet someone first time, and or otherwise with a long back, that means shaking hands means it's just like greeting others. So these are the different types of non-verbal communication. So there we cannot we no need to use the words here in non-verbal communication. Next one is visual communication. So another important method of communication is visual communication, here which involves sending and understanding messages only through images or pictures. But here the main advantage of this type of communication is that you don't need to know any particular language for understanding. Here we don't require any language. Through pictures, through images we can understand. So it is simple and easy to understand. And now we can see here in this picture on the screen, see traffic symbol which communicates not to blow horn. So we no need to write here no, don't blow your horn like this, but through the picture only, through this image only, the person, the passenger, whatever the vehicle the person using, they can understand. And sign for ladies and gents toilet. So generally you may see, so the picture itself indicates that the information, gives the information here. So these are the general, you know that these are the different pictures. A sign for slippery surface, like if you see here, sign for slippery surface, or a sign showing railway crossing. These are the different images or picture we can use, generally using for visual communication. So this is about types of communication: verbal communication, non-verbal communication, and visual communication. So verbal communication means the communication where where we are using words, that means verbal communication. Non-verbal communication means through gestures, body language, and through eye contact, where the communication is happening through facial expressions, postures and gestures. That means that is verbal communication. Visual communication means through images or pictures, where we don't require any language, where if you don't know any language also we can understand that visual communication. So these are the different types of communication, and the different elements of communication we have seen, and elements and the different perspectives in communication. So this is about communication skills session 1. So after this I'm going to provide session 2 video also, so that we can complete communication skills unit 1. Thank you.